30 days ago, I made a decision that I deleted ChatGPT from my workflow completely. No GPT-4, no plugins, nothing from OpenAI. And I replaced it just with one tool, Claude. For 30 days, I use Claude for everything. Client emails, video scripts, editing briefs, business proposal, social media content, everything. And what happened over those 30 days genuinely surprised me. Because this is not a Claude is amazing. It's an honest experiment. Some things blew my mind. Some things frustrated me. And day by 30, I had a very clear answer on whether this was worth it for a freelancer, for an agency owner, for anyone doing real client work. Let's get into it. Why I did this? Before I get into the results, let me tell you why I even started this experiment. I have been using ChatGPT for about 2 years now. I know it well. I have built habits around it. I have built my workflow around it. So I was not looking to switch. But 3 things started bothering me. Number 1, the writing quality. Whenever I used ChatGPT for content scripts, captions, emails, I always had to rewrite at least 40% of it. It felt robotic. Number 2, long documents. I work with long briefs, long contracts, long video scripts. ChatGPT kept forgetting context halfway through a long conversation. I had asked something about page 3 of a document and it would contradict what it said about page 1. That's a real problem when you are working with clients. Number 3, I saw other freelancers and creators talking about Claude, not in a sponsored way, just quietly saying, I switched and I am not going back. That caught my attention, so I set a rule, 30 days only Claude. I tracked everything. Time spent, quality of outputs, client feedback, and my income. Let's go week by week. Week 1 was honestly the hardest. And if you are thinking of switching, I need to be honest with you about this. The first thing I noticed, Claude doesn't have image generation built in. Now, let me explain this simply. You know how in ChatGPT you can just type make me an image of a logo and it creates one right there. Claude can't do that. There is no built-in image creator inside Claude. If you need AI generated images, you have to open a separate tool like Canva AI, Adobe Firefly, and then come back to Claude for your writing work. For me personally, I use visuals in client presentations. So this was a small extra step in my day, not a deal breaker, just something nobody tells you before you switch. Now you know. The second thing, Claude's interface is cleaner and simple. Fewer buttons, no plugin store. At first, this felt like a downside. By week 3, I realized it was actually a future. Less distraction, faster workflow. Now here is where things got interesting on day 4. I had a client brief, a 6-page document outlining their brand, their audience, their tone of voice, their competitors. I pasted the whole things into Claude and asked it to write a 3-month content strategy. What came back in about 40 seconds genuinely shocked me. It did not just read the brief, it understood the brief. Every details, the brand tone, the target audience, the competitors, everything. And here is what really got me. After that fast response, I kept working in the same conversation, asking follow-up questions, making changes, going back and forth, and Claude remembered everything from that original 6-page documents without me repeating a single thing. I even tested it. I asked something very specific about the brands competitors mentioned on page 5. It answered correctly, instantly, no copy-pasting, no re-explaining, it just knew. Think of it like this, imagine hiring an assistant, handling them a full client file in the morning, and then later in the day, asking any question about that file, and then remember everything single detail without you having to remind them. That's what this felt like. That had never happened with ChatGPT in my experience without me copy-pasting things again. Week 1, adjustment phase. Uncomfortable at the start, but that one moment on day 4 made me want to keep going. Week 2, the turning point. Week 2 is where I stopped comparing Claude to ChatGPT and started actually using it on its own terms. I had 3 client deliverables due that week. A YouTube script for a brand, a cold email sequence for a B2B client, and a full business proposal for a new agency prospect. Let me tell you about the business proposal because this is the moment I actually said out loud, okay, this is different. I gave Claude my client's industry, their problems, their budget range, and what I was pitching. I also uploaded my previous proposal as a reference, and I asked it to write a full proposal, executive summary, problem statement, solution, pricing structure, timeline, and a closing section. In ChatGPT, this would take me 3 or 4 back and forth sessions and still need heavy editing. Claude gave me something 85% ready in one shot. The tone was professional but not stiff. It sounded like me, not like AI. The client replied the next day and said, "This is one of the best proposals we have received, very clear." This is where I stopped treating it as an experiment and started treating it as my actual tool. By week 3, I was not just using Claude for writing anymore. I started pushing it harder, using it for things I had not tried before. Think 1, client communication. I started giving Claude my WhatsApp or email conversations with difficult clients and asking it to help me respond professionally without being a pushover. The responses it gave me were calm, clear, and kept boundaries intact. Saved me so much mental energy. Thing 2, video scripting. I write video scripts for myself and for clients. I gave Claude my style, my audience, my topic, and told it to write like me, not like an AI presenter. The draft it gave me needed maybe 20% editing. That's down from 40% with ChatGPT. This changed my workflow completely. I created a separate project for each client, uploaded their brand guide, their past content, their tone of voice. Now every time I open that client's project, Claude already knows everything. I don't have to re-explain the client every single session. For someone managing 5 to 8 clients at once, something different entirely. With the I found my system. This is when Claude stopped being a ChatGPT replacement and became something different entirely. The real numbers. Alright, week 4 the results. I promised I had shared real numbers, so here they are. Time saved per week roughly 6 to 8 hours compared to my previous ChatGPT workflow, mostly for less re-editing and fewer back and forth prompts. That's directly because Claude made me faster. Quality complaints from clients 0. In fact, 2 clients gave me good positive feedback on deliverable quality this month, which doesn't happen every month. Income, I would not give you an exact number. That's personal, but I closed one extra project worth 20,000 because of the proposal I told you about in week 2. So the ROI of switching was positive clearly. Now here is what I want to be honest about. The thing, Claude is not better at 1, image generation. Claude doesn't have it built in. If you need AI images, you still need Midjourney or Adobe Firefly separately. 2, real-time internet search. Claude has web search, but it is not as fast or visual as ChatGPT's browsing. For quick news hookups, ChatGPT still wins. 3, plugin ecosystem. ChatGPT has more third-party integration right now. If your workflow depends on specific plugins, check whether Claude support that use case fast. So after 30 days, am I switching permanently? Yes, but let me explain why in a way that's actually useful for you. I'm not switching because Claude is better in some abstract sense. I'm switching because for my type of work. Freelancing, client writing, scripts, proposals, long documents, Claude fits better. If you are a freelancer, a content creator, or an agency owner doing client-facing writing work, here is my honest recommendation. Try Claude for 7 days on your actual client work, not on test prompts, on real projects. Give it your client's brand guide, your brief, your style reference, and see what comes back. You will know within a week if it's the right fit. And if you want to know exactly what models to use, because yes, Claude has multiple versions just like ChatGPT. Here is the quick version. Claude Sonnet 4.6. Use this for daily work, writing, emails, scripts, fast and very capable. Claude Opus 4.8. Use this for complex, high-stake work, big proposal, research, strategy documents. Claude Haiku 4.5. Use this if you are building tools or need quick, cheap, automated tasks. Start with Sonnet. It covers 90% of what most freelancers need. That is the full 30-day experiment, just what actually happened when I ran my freelance work on Claude for a month. If this video gave you even one useful idea for your workflow, hit the like button. It genuinely helps this channel grow. And I want to know, are you using Claude, ChatGPT both or something else for your work? Drop it in the comments. I read every single one and I am genuinely curious what tools are working for people right now. Subscribe if you are not already. I post videos on AI, freelancing, business and editing every week on this channel. I will see you in the next one.